I had really good intentions when I started this, but you know what happens with good intentions. Alright, we're back once more. It is 2:14 now in the afternoon on this Thursday. I had to think about that. I've already made one video today. This is my second start, I should say. What I've got going here is not a perfectly clean, but it is much cleaner than it was. Now, what I'm going to do, I know everybody's saying, get back to the AM Superhead. Well, I'm going to, but I want to knock this thing out of the park first. This stuff has got to go. I'm sorry. I get tired of moving it around and around and around and around and around. So that is next on my list of things to do. Now, I'm not even showing you what I'm looking at, but there it is. I want to figure out a place to put it, number one. And number two, I want to make a cardboard shelf. I always used to love to make those. I've got my glue there ready to go. But anyway, that's what I want to do and get those things off my bench. I can even put this little thing in there if I want to. So, you know, what I'm trying to do, like I say, is get some organization going here. I mean, you know, what you guys see in my videos is fairly nice and organized, but if you looked over to my right or to my left, either one, you would see destruction. It's super bad, let me tell you. It is really bad. So I want to get this cleaned up, and I want to get this shelf made. While I've got my bench nice and clean, I'm going to do the shelf first. But you know, even before I do that, I've got to figure out exactly where to put it. So let me get on that, and I'll bring you back when I have decided, and we'll see how it looks. Alright, well, I have one possibility. Here close is right here along this edge. Now the only problem with that is obviously when I have to take the cover off to use the tube tester, those whatever are going to be kind of flung around a little bit. Now I don't really care for that aspect of it, but at the same time that's a good spot for it. Pure and simple. Like I said, this comes off pretty easy. It's basically, well, I said it is. There we go. Like that. And so, like I said, it would be fairly stable there, but at the same time, you know, I'm just not sure. So. Here. Like I said, I'm not really crazy about that, so I may keep looking and just see. Now, on down the way there a little bit, this here would stay there. But see, I have things hanging below it now, and that might interfere with that quite a bit. Well, the clamp can be moved. That's not a problem with that. But the desoldering tool and the Weller soldering gun might be a little bit more of a problem, because it would be basically impossible to get that out of there with that shelf there. Always something. Like I said, I'm going to keep looking and see what else I can come up with, so join me again for that. Good evening, YouTube. It is 8 o'clock now in the evening on this Thursday night. I have discovered I do not have to go visit my mother in the morning because my sister is moving her back to the nursing home on Saturday. So I will just wait until then and visit her there. Seemed like the better plan. Thanks to Bob. You all know Bob. He would not shut up about this Arvin radio. I made the mistake. It was my mistake. I know. I'm taking full responsibility for it. But I made the mistake of sending him a copy of the schematic for this radio, and he has been nothing but talk about what the problems might be. And well, you know, after people keep talking about it, I had just kind of kept myself from even looking at the schematic. I knew I had it, but I didn't bother even looking at it. Well, when he kept talking about it, I had to look on the schematic, see what he was talking about. So you can see it is in front of us here on the bench. What I did to take this, well, now let me step back a minute. I took the signal tracer that he had so graciously sent me, and measured at his request at the volume control on the high side, and that's him. I'm sure he's crowing about this. From the ground to the high side of the volume control, and I got very good audio. I mean, it was fine, booming out of there. So there's obviously a problem between the volume control and the output. So that was my first clue. Now, he had mentioned he thought it would be bad caps. So one was really easy to get to is this one right here, and this is not plugged in, so I can touch it. It's a 2 microfarad. It goes between, there's a resistor, comes from the volume control right here and goes over to this capacitor, and then that goes on its merry way on through the rest of the amplifier, and you know, makes its way to the output and to the speaker. So what I thought, you know, okay, so it's a 2 microfarad. I don't have any 2 microfarad. Not very few people probably do around here, but I did have a 3.3. This one here. And it's a used one, I know, but it was good enough to take and bridge across there, just like that. Made some good contact, and as soon as I did, I had full sound coming out of the speaker. Yay! So that tells me that the problem is in the capacitors, which, you know, this is an old radio. Most of the transistors in here are germanium, so that tells you, that'll clue you in on how old it is. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, and I've got my soldering iron heating up. I'm going to go ahead and tack that capacitor in there, and then we'll take a listen to it and see how it sounds. Stay tuned. And the S&P was up 11 to okay, there you can see the little capacitor is tacked in there, and you can hear the radio is playing. Never before. In fact, a survey by Drive Change Drive Electric tells us that 8 out of 10 Northeasterners agree electric is the future of automobile. It's important to move towards electric cars. So getting resources to the border. So much more. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's... All right, well there you have it. You'll notice some hum in this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and replace all the capacitors and their E-caps, I should say, and get that done. And that'll be one more thing out of the way. I don't know, it doesn't have an antenna on it, so that's one of the reasons it was having some trouble picking up some of the stations. That's FM, by the way. Let me switch real quick to AM. See if we can get anything there. The tone works.
In the case of missing university
So it's working on AM and FM. Don't turn it off. Oh, I keep forgetting how to turn this off. You got to turn the clock off. There we go. Oh, that ain't it. Oh, I think my problem is the alarm has been set to where it's not going to go off. It's on the sleep switch or whatever it is. So we can unplug it. That'll work. Alright, that's going to do me on this one. Like I said, I'm going to replace it. That's going to be fixed. That's not going to be like that. I just wanted to put it in there just to see if that would work and show you guys that it does work. So that's about it from here. You guys have a pleasant evening. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you.